Remember I said about that little seal. Okay, I'm opening up the Merc kit. Now on the Merc kit, you're even going to get the steel piece that you're going to need to put back in, both seals, and every little seal, and the keyway as well. So you got everything that you're going to need to put this back together. We have the old one right there. We're going to replace with the new one. The bigger seal goes on the bottom. One that covers more of the plate, like that. Make sure it's lined up. Okay. Make sure they all line up right. May have to flip it just to double check. Okay. Just want to try to clean it up a little bit inside of here. Some WD-40. Trying to get that plastic off from a burnt out propeller one time. Someone probably changed it and never cleaned the housing up a little bit. So I just want to get that off. Make sure that the fins go nice. Alright, I cleaned the whole housing up, and now I'm going to get ready to put the fin in. Now remember, they do give you a new keyway, so you should try and use the new stuff if you could. And the keyway is going to go on the shaft. You see it right here? That's where the keyway goes. So the keyway goes in there, like that. And then the fin, you see where the groove is? Line up the groove to it. And that goes on there like that. So it locks in there. Okay. Now, what's going to happen with this is the water's going to get sucked up through these vents here. When the boat's pushing, the water's going to come up through this. It's going to circulate, come up here, go into the top, and this is what cools your engine. So this is why it's important to change this. So first thing I did is I'm going to put some lube inside of here just to make it a little easier to get the fins in. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to place it inside of here. And I'll put all the fins going in one direction. Okay, I set all the fins in one direction, and I made sure it's as even as I can with the hole. So when I slide it over, I got to get it on the Allen key, and here's this, the groove, and that. Okay, so that's all lined up. Now I'm going to get the bolts and put it in there. Now I got to put the seal back on. That's the shaft seal. That seals that. Let's make sure that's pushed down good. This goes right over like that. Okay, so we replaced this, we replaced that, we replaced the Allen key. That little seal, very important, that one over there. And you want to also make sure that it's all cleaned out. Make sure there's no debris in there whatsoever. And that pops right in like that. Okay, that seal's changed. Now, this is the water seals. There's two seals inside of here, right over there. Pop it in. There's one. And on this side there's another one. A little more spray, sorry, one. Okay, the water jacket's going to go right in here. This tube is going to make it fit into the other seal inside. So I want to spray inside of there, make sure that's all good. I'm going to put some grease on top of this shaft as well, and then we're pretty much ready to connect it. The only thing we have to do is make sure the boat's in drive so that shifter cable goes over, and then put the vent hose back on that. Okay, and then we'll put the gear oil, the lube oil in. Okay, right here is the water hose that goes up to the top and pulls it into the engine, and that picks up from the plastic piece right here. There's a seal on the inside right there that's going to connect in. This is a guide basically, so when you put it up it brings it right over. Then the shaft has got to go back over into the bottom piece. Let me get this lined up so you can see it. Right in there. You can see it in there on the bottom. So you got to line the shaft up with that. Then the last thing that has to be done is down here. This is the shifter housing. See that right here? And this is the vent hose. Shifter's got to line up and goes right in there. So that's what we're going to do right now. Now, line up the back. Where's my helper wand? Hold on one. Spin this. Spin the propeller. The other way. Okay, spin it. Okay. Okay. So let me get the bolts and then I'll start pulling it in. I'll do the two sides and that. It's not going to go anywhere. Just making them snug. Need to get the other side. Okay, so we got it all lined up. It's all back on. Everybody's wondering, how am I sure that everything lined up? The plastic housing will guide the plastic tube, the water tube into it, so it will seal once everything's up. We know it's in gear because we can't move everything. It's in gear now, so we know the splines are all lined up and it's right up there. You can see how close everything is. Now I'm going to tighten everything. I'm going to start from the back and then work my way to the front and then do the middle ones. So this back 1.5 inch is the first one I'm going to tighten back here. This is the more difficult one because you have to actually use the wrench. You can try and use a socket. So now we completed everything that we took apart. Next thing we need to do is put the gear oil in, and we do have some more anodes to change, which are the two over here, one in the propeller and one over here. But we're going to take care of the outdrive so we don't forget to put the gear lube in it. So that's the first thing we're going to do right now, and that's going to be pumping that up. So we're going to get set with that. I'm going to clean up here a little bit before we do that so we can have a little neater workplace. In order to put the gear oil in, you have to pump it from the bottom up until it comes out of the vent over here. So what I did is I have this little pump tool that you can get from any marine supply store. You screw it into the bottom over here, like that with the seal. You're going to take the quart, open it up, put this in, and then pretty much pump it through until it comes out the vent. Once in the vent, then you know you got it through everything. See how it's coming out, so you know it's full. Get that new seal in there, so that there's no problem, no water's getting sucked in at all. Okay guys, we just completed changing the C-pump in here, the anodes, and putting the gear oil in it and getting it all ready for the season. So the next step now is to start up the engine, make sure the water's running through and everything cools down. And remember, it hasn't been running since last season, so it's been sitting the whole winter. So we're going to put a set of ears on here and take care of that. We hope this helped you out. Once again, my name is Eddie. This is another edition of On Board. I'll catch you next time.